Hey y'all, grown black folks talk. As if I have not barked at you enough today. Let's just get it done midweek. Further clarification on soft grift. In the previous video about churches, I've described a kind of very hard grift. People use God in vain in order to abuse and convince black people, specifically black women who make the majority of our churches, that God requires them to have their time, treasure, and talent down to allowing their bodies and their children's bodies to be consumed by the leadership of these plantation churches. That's a hard grip. You can't get any harder than being told that your entire eternal welfare depends on you being abused by some overbaked looking antichrist. I should say wannabe because they're still gonna fail. No black man will be allowed to be the antichrist. Nope, not gonna happen. That's gonna be a European's damnation, not a black man's damnation. And for those of you that are mad about that, go back and read Daniel 10 to the end. I didn't make that up. He's got to come from the Roman Empire. And if you know the Roman Empire, he's got to be of that lineage. And as you know, Italy's in Europe. I didn't make that up. It's also, you'll find out in Revelation chapter 5-ish to the about chapter 19. I didn't make that up. But the point here, that's a hard grift. Another hard grift is what happens to many black women in their job. Now, there are better channels than mine to talk about this. Stephanie Perry is just about to put out Job Detox for black women. And there's a number of black women channels. Marissa Price comes to mind. Lifting as We Climb comes to mind, that handle this subject very, very well about how jobs, again, because the idea is you're going to be convinced that you are dependent on organizations that abuse you in order to live. That's a hard grip because people are controlling your means of living and using that as a justification to abuse you. But because we are so accommodated to being hard grifted on Sunday and hard grifted at work, then people can come along with a soft grift, and we think that's basically a vacation. Disclaimer: I'm not going to put any particular content creator's name in this. I'm going to tell you the characteristics because content creators, new ones come along every day. I'm also not putting any content creator's name in this because if it gets to the point that I'm ready to move on and call out some people, I have no problem doing it. But we're just not at that point yet. And even though I kind of survey the neighborhood, I have not kept up with people's channels enough to be able to say for absolute certain. I hope the day comes that I don't have to find out. There are some people I've called hilarious on the channel, those that cross certain lines. So just know that if that does happen, I see. But for today, we're going to talk about the characteristics. So we look at hard grips. The point is to pimp you out, to get from you your time, your treasure, your talent, and if it's online, not necessarily your body, but to get from you attention and resources, cash money, super chats, memberships, and of course your time and your interaction, because that drives the algorithm. That allows them to find new people. This is why I say the most powerful three dots that you have is do not recommend. You hit the three dots on the side, hit do not recommend. And you start telling the algorithm this ain't it. Stop going up and arguing with people on their channels. Do not recommend. There are 18 million black women. If we want anybody's channel to disappear, just getting on our nerves, if all of us here do not recommend and report these people, you do know that those channels will die. Kevin Samuel's subscriber base, before he was dealt with by being taken out, Mr. Winter is Coming died in the spring of 2022. 1 million of the people, 70%, 980,000 were women. Do you know that he could have been disappeared if those 980,000 women had just hit do not recommend and reported his foolery? We're spending time arguing with people that we have control over because we can control who that algorithm puts out. There were not enough black men to keep him going. Keep that in mind. But he was soft grifting his listeners also. So you live in a world, and black men do too, to be fair to them, which is telling you you have to be abused to survive. That's the same thing as slavery. It's just a softer version of the same thing. It's just degrees. So someone comes along and talks a good game. They know, by the way, the political name for this is demagoguery. Demagoguery. This is Donald John Trump's stock and trade, and every demagogue before him, including a gentleman named Adolf Hitler, was very good at doing this. You speak to the pain of the people that you want to grift. You make them think that you understand. You learn what the buzzwords are, and you begin to parrot them, and you put some heft behind them so that they feel that you know what they feel like. And then you start covering topics that they're interested in, and you start taking their viewpoint on these topics. And of course, people who don't have anything better to do with their lives but worry about who hurt them last week, I understand their real trauma response, but just go with me for a minute here, are going to want to be validated and vindicated. And because they want to be validated and vindicated, they are going to be drawn to this content. So now you have people picking up the algorithm, and you have people doing engagement that is being sent to other people. And then you reach a certain amount on YouTube, and now you can do super chats, and now you can have memberships, and now you have ads running. And all you have to do is to keep doing this and offer no solutions. What happened to you last week and your feelings about it are important. But if someone is massaging that pain in you and not showing you things that you can do to grow and heal, or not showing you how you don't let this happen to you next week, that's a soft grift. I don't care how comfortable it is. Many of you think you have community because you have been made comfortable with the foolery. People have a particular style. People have a particular effect. People have a particular way of sounding, however you need them to sound. It sounds good to you. You have encountered people that you've come to care about. And you feel like you have community, and you do. The problem is it's codependent and toxic. Because here's what's happening. You're encouraged to be angry. In some of them, you are allowed to act a fool. In some of them, people show you themselves acting a fool. But I'm not talking about a good sense of humor. I'm talking about absolute behavior that would not be allowed on anybody's job. Folks just come online and act like they don't, that there's not going to be a permanent record. But see, if you're involved in coping strategies that are weakening you, you're not going to have a problem with someone else manifesting that either. The other thing that you notice about people who soft grift is the same thing you notice about people that hard grift, except it'd be easier to find out because you don't have the consequences for looking. Hypocrisy is very common in the soft grift world. And it can become very obvious. But again, people are generally having a good time. By comparison to what they go through in church or on a job, it's not that bad. By comparison. Because black women in particular are so used to being abused by institutions that we tend to gravitate to this stuff because it's still not as bad as what we deal with on all the other days of the week. We have black women friends that we've made here, and we get to kick back and relax. But we are listening to people that offer us zero solutions. They're not offering us resources to go find something out that can help us heal, nor are they offering us solutions to be able to get out of the situations that we're in. They're not offering us solutions to understand concepts that can help us. See, when this came out, I gave it away for the first week. I'm probably still close to giving away more books than I have sold. If we're not there, we're not. The numbers are still pretty even. Because I know that if you get your financial freedom together, you do not have to listen to as many people howling and screaming about how you need to submit to them. Those of you who are in church situations, I needed you to know that the stuff that people are telling you is not true. I want you to have solutions. I do this, bless block and change the lock, and I got another one to do for this weekend, the ether block. So that you know you have resources on how to deal with different people and how people come at you and how people will scam you. I'm actually doing that for my, I might need to move that one over here, put in my crypto journey. I might load those up. How people will come at you in certain ways and how you can put them off and block them forever and that you have a right to do that. We talk about a lot of things over here. We talk about hard things with love. We do all this so that you can have information that you can find as a solution. Now, I'm no better than anybody else. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not any better intrinsically than any of the people that I'm talking about that are doing this soft grip. There, but for the grace of God, go I. I have the ability. I am actually a performing artist, singer, pianist, speaker. I have the ability. But my master would soon take me away. And I know that. I love God, but I also fear God. He didn't put me here for that. He didn't put you here to be abused or grifted. Even if you're not a Christian, common grace says, no, you were not made to be under the power of a mortal dictator. That was not what you were created for. Now, you may not want to go to the God and Father of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But even if that is not your decision right now, you were not designed to be under the influence and under the control of these online grifters. That was not what you were put here for. Again, these are people whose style and mannerism is not abusive. Because again, they don't have to be. They know that given what you go through in church and on the job, all they have to do is be moderately nice and provide a welcoming atmosphere. And you will give them all the attention and all the money and all the algorithmic help that they desire to reach more people like you. That is the soft grift. And because Black people, men and women, have so many grievances that we are taking out on each other, although it must be said, Black men are being grifted on by the whole manosphere for this reason. But Black women are trying to play catch up. A lot of Black women empowerment, a lot of channels adjacent to that have become the same kind of soft grift. I need you to be aware. And like I said in the previous video, I need you to stop being complicit. And I realize this is difficult because many content creators have built an entire community. I don't do lives over here. Some of you remember what my moderator philosophy is. So I have to find moderators who will be absolutely as tough and completely inflexible as I am. If you're not ready to operate like a grown person who has some professional sense, you're not going to be able to come over here. Just that's not going to happen. This is not going to be comfortable community if you want to act a fool. And so, because of that, I have chosen at this moment not to have to do the kind of screening that I would need to do. So I don't have a community as strong as some others. But it is given the seriousness of the times in which we live, if you are in a community where no solutions are being offered, y'all do know there's an election coming up. And I think I said this yesterday, it'll be yesterday in your time. There's no good choices for our future in either of these two candidates. Y'all do know that's what's going on, right? There are solutions available. I just think back over all the people I met in the House of Themis, all the wonderful people I met there, the talent, the brilliance. Y'all saw that book cover. Yeah, y'all saw that. Y'all saw that book cover. That was True Mystique who did that. The brilliance of the people. I think I met Auntie Love there. Kiana Footman, Level Up Single Mom. Um, Stephanie Perry was in that chat. Maxie not promoting this at this particular moment, but if you all still need to get your crypto life together, you saw what Bitcoin did. Shameless plug. That was predicted. It did occur. I'm just saying. Uh, I met so many brilliant people there. Uh, Time fails me to list them all. It's very late. Well, actually, very early in the morning on the day that you're going to actually see this. I just couldn't sleep. I had to get this done today. I met so many wonderful, brilliant people there. There are wonderful communities that can be gathered online. But what I want you to do is look very carefully, wherever you may have them. Are there solutions on the table? Stephanie Perry is a wonderful example in that she has the Vicarious website where you're going to learn how to get remote work and how to do house sitting and be invited to conferences. And if Daily Borshade is going to help you get your money together for a sabbatical, from burnout to bliss, is going to help you with your money and be able to prepare to go abroad. Rashida Dow can help you with that. She's associated with people that provide solutions. She's a wonderful example. Conferences with Love and On, Why Aunties, we're going to be back on April the 19th, I believe. We do our best to provide you solutions to any problem that we're talking about. Auntie Love is going through a whole new course. I'm working on a course to offer based on my book. If you need me to hand walk you through it, that's what will be in the course. Because we want you to not just be excited about opportunities and mad about what happened to you. We want you to be able to make it so it never happens again. And again, I'm not saying that I'm intrinsically better than any of the soft grifters I'm talking about. See, because this is the thing, soft grift is a decision, hard grifting is a decision. Everything's about a decision. Auntie Love says very plainly, I'm not a good person. I am, how did she say this? I am a series of experiences. Um, I would say this way, for all have sinned. I'm not a good person. Jesus Christ, however, is perfect. And because I walk in him, the goodness that you see is his reflection more than anything else. I have a reason, everything that comes with a human being, particularly the type of personality and all the rest. But you do not want to know how I would be had I chosen to be a soft grifter or a hard grifter. Y'all hear this big voice? Can you imagine this voice being used to take young people and to beat them into whatever shape I wanted them to be? Can y'all imagine that? I use this voice to protect children from people like that now. I was called to do that instead. I thank God. Because I would hate for the evil version of me to meet me at this point. But I'm telling you, they're out there. And soft grifters are just the kinder, gentler. What did George W. Bush say? The kinder, gentler conservative. The kinder, gentler version of the same foolery. And just like I told y'all that last time with your discharge notice, you need to get up out of there. Anywhere that you are being kept mad, kept upset, no solutions offered, no organization happening of all the brilliance that is going on, and you can come back and go through the neighborhood and everybody's still talking about the same stuff again. Mm-mm. Because the soft grifter and the hard grifter are also robbing you of time, energy, and treasures that you need. Well, let me correct that. The thing about both of these grifts, yes, they are set up to rob you. But at the point that you know better, now you have to take responsibility for allowing yourself to be robbed. Yes, these are pickpockets. But after a while, you got to learn how to walk out of their reach. See, the predator is responsible for being a predator. Point blank, period, at all times. Period. Soft grifter, hard grifter doesn't make any difference. You are responsible for protecting yourself and your children. Once you know the predators are there, don't play around with predators. I want you to be uncomfortable with grifters, hard or soft. They are all participating in you being eased back into bondage. Social media, which is what I'm on right now, can be one of the most amazing tools for your betterment, or it can be a tool to your re-enslavement. Predators gonna predator. Hard grifters are gonna hard grift. You got a lot of them on televisions out also, and also on the internet, manipulating people in the name of God, manipulating people in the name of blackness. You got plenty of hard grifters. Soft grifters are out there too. And it can feel so good and so comfortable because it feels so much more welcoming and inviting than the hard grift. It's still grift. Some people have got it so bad that they're basically taking you on what's a Victorian version of slumming. One version of this soft grift is we're going to go look at all these other people and have a good laugh at them and then congratulate ourselves about how much better and smarter we are than they are. Really? Because see, here's what happens when you really get better and smarter. You stop dumbing yourself down by looking at what people dumber than you are doing all the time. You stop engaging in arguments with people that have no control over your life and go take care of your life. You learn how to use your mind to build it up. You learn how to entertain yourself in things that are going to build you up. You learn how to stop spending your emotional energy being mad at people that really have no power. Because if they did, they wouldn't be out acting a fool on the internet. You learn how to, as Representative Maxine Waters said it so well, reclaiming my time. You learn how to reclaim your time. If you really are smart, that's what you do. You learn how to retrain your brain with things that are going to help you. There's a ton of information out here. They're all kind of brilliant black people doing all kind of brilliant things. If you need to get it from black people, you can. There are all kinds of black men who are not sitting up here talking about how much they hate black women. There's tons of them. There's all kind of black women who are giving you tools necessary to get away from men who are no good. And also talking about things that have nothing to do with that because their experience goes beyond having to deal with that all the time. And who can show you on ramps to that. I keep mentioning Stephanie Perry for a reason. Do you know you do not have to put up with the foolery of this country if you don't want to? I'm gonna need us to not participate in soft grift as victims, willing, regular, paying for the privilege victims. I'm gonna need us to stop that. It does not matter whether you are slow roasted or hit with a flamethrower. The only thing that's happened to you is the speed. And I also should say this, because sometimes our habits have been so influenced, we are so covered with grift that we don't always know what we're doing. I'm gonna leave this much room. We don't even know that we've copied bad habits sometimes. But in the end of the day, and I used to call this George W. Bush rule, it does not matter whether you park the steamroller at the top of the hill and forget to put it in park and it rolls down and runs somebody over, or whether you did it on purpose. That person's still dead. If you're in a way, you're still dead. Doesn't matter. It does not matter whether George W. Bush knew or did not know that he was promoting a lie about yellow cake and all that other stuff, weapons of mass destruction to get the United States in the Iraq War. There are 2 million people displaced, and there are hundreds of thousands of people killed. And if the world operated rationally, he would still be up in front of the Hague for war crimes. Does not matter whether he knew it was a lie or not. Those people are still dead. He still would be tried as a war criminal. I will give people grace in that we grew up in environments where grifting came naturally. Some of us have, I don't, let me be very clear here. But I know that some of us grew up in households where people did what they had to do to survive. And if they had to do various levels of grift to be able to get their children fed, then that's what they did. So people grew up not knowing that this is not what you do. This is what people did in order to make it. I'm going to give people that much grace and room because I don't know how everybody grew up. Maybe grifting is all some people know. There is a more excellent way. Alicia Bernice, the artist, talked about this. The way of kindness, the way of goodness, the way of generosity, the way of refusing to take advantage of people. It's a longer, slower path. And I know it's new to some people. Sometimes we slide off into grift because that's what we know. I get it. I get it. Sometimes when I teach children, I recognize that sometimes I'm the only person that they know because of the world they have to live in, where people don't play fast and loose in how they treat people. And that just makes me very sad just to say that. So if I know it's happening among the children, I know that some of you who are adults are listening to me who also do not have any defense against this because this is all you know. You go to churches where people talk down to you and where people abuse you because this is all you know. And you think this is all you're worth. You think it's your portion in life to be grifted and abused. And if you get into a position where you could do it to someone else because it was done to you, okay, that's what you're going to do because that's what you know. This is why abusers, children tend to grow up and copy the same behavior. It's all they know. I get it. I'm going to put some therapy resources in the chat, in the description of this video. Because I realize it's not fully intentional for some people. So I'm going to give that much grace. Sometimes we slide because of pain and patterns and traumas. We slide into situations we didn't mean to get into. I get that. As someone who is a leader, I have to be vigilant every day. Y'all wonder why I'm not here all the time? Because I'm not trying to build a cult around me. This is purposeful. I'm not here all the time. Of course, now life has become busy. But if you remember before that, even back when I had more time on my hands, I wasn't here all the time. As someone who is charismatic, I have to purposely work against that. People can slide off very easily. Something that I think about when I get this book, and I'm already praying about this and already doing my work. I know that people are really going to be wanting this book at exactly the wrong time. And I have to begin to back up off of this. I will have another product available for you to use during the bear market by then. But people will be after this book and people will be wanting it. And that's about the same time that I'm going to slow down on promoting it because if you come into the bull run at the wrong time, you're going to end up holding the bag. Now, the book clearly says this, but my struggle with not becoming a grifter is going to be telling people the truth at that time. You want to buy this book for 2028. I'm going to update it. You probably don't want to come into the market in June 2025. So in June 2025, I have to be ready to let that income source go dormant for 2 more years. Y'all, it can happen to anybody. Sometimes we slide in. So it's not that I'm without compassion, because I know sometimes people didn't mean to get into the situation. They were not prepared to be in a position of leadership. They just didn't have the depth yet. I get it. I do. I have pride and ego and greed and malice within me like every other human being. But for the grace of God go I. And I have put my time in spaces where no solution was offered. And basically, I was a big bouncer for a mess. Been there, done that too. Not just on YouTube either. It's not the only place I moderated and noticed the same pattern. Different race of people. That's another story for another day. Crypto world's wild, y'all. I earned what I learned and put in that book. But when you find out, ask anybody, anywhere. When I find out you full of bull, what's the end gonna do? I'm out. And you need to learn to get out. Harriet Tubman did not live and die for you to stay on a soft grifted plantation. And we did it in the last video, but neither did Jesus Christ if you're a Christian. That is not his will for your life. Get out. Get out. Get out. Stop being soft grifted too. Well, what am I going to do? I mean, I'm not going to have any channels to watch. Yeah, you are. I mentioned Stephanie Perry and him. When you go looking, look for things that you're interested in, the things that you do that you enjoy doing, that are constructive, and go find channels that work with that. And stop being afraid of other people who are different colors of people who are good at these things. Black women making money keeps talking about you need multicultural networks. If you're going to stay in country, if you're leaving the country, you're going to be somewhere with a different culture. There's plenty of people out there for you to watch. If you don't have any ideas, and this is honestly your concern, hit me in the comments. I'll make a suggestion based on what you're interested in. I might even do some research. I might even go on YouTube and look around for you. If you're really intensely struggling with this, I'll be willing to help you with it. But you can also do this for yourself. Because part of what happens with hard grifting and soft grifting is that you're not able yet to take the responsibility to take care of yourself completely. And so you think you're going to get it from someone else. I don't want to be that person. So I'm going to give you something to look up, and then you've got to go from there. But I'm always willing to help those of you who are ready to actually make a move away from having to be over dependent on others. So that you neither have to feel that it is necessary for you to be hard grifted or soft grifted. Being grifted is not in the design specs for your life. I don't care who told you that. I don't care who's telling you ain't worth nothing else. It is a lie. Come out from among them and be ye separate. Same thing I said on the previous video. Except it's going to be harder because the soft grifter makes it more comfortable. You still need to come out. One more thing. Because there's a new soft grifter every day. The longer you stay in the presence of a soft grifter, the more likely it's going to be that you begin to model those habits. Because like I said, sometimes we slide in stuff and we don't know it. Whatever you do, don't stay there so long that you model on it and you become that. It's one thing to be a victim. It's another thing to pass on the cycle of abuse. And if you do that, there's a very popular rapper who's out running for his life out of the country right now. I don't have all the details on what happened to P. Diddy, but I know he got out of Dodge, and Homeland Security is up in his house right now, all his residences right now. And if they got all this information, we about to find out stuff about T. Jakes and a whole bunch of other people that might want to run for the border too. See, sooner or later, meanwhile, Cassie got paid and is going about her business. Sooner or later, that's not the lifestyle that you want. That's not what you want to. Donald Trump is out there today trying to find $175 million. Got off a little bit easier than people would have wanted, but let's see if he can come up with that. We'll find out. But I tell you what, if he loses appeal, guess what? Now you're in debt 175 million, and you still owe that $500 million. So instead of having to owe $500 million, you at 675. People don't know how math works, but hey, I'm just saying that ain't what you want. The life of becoming a demagogue. It ain't what you want. Don't let these people model you into your destruction. All right, I've barked to enough today. I'm going to record the ether block for the weekend, so you probably will see that Saturday. And then let y'all go for the week. There may be, looking at the weather report, there may be an on decline, but of course we're at the time of year where the spring winds are just blowing and carrying on, and it's hard to do recordings outside. And so we'll see what happens. But if not, I'll catch y'all when I have something to say. I will say it. But have a good day. I do love you. I do not enjoy coming up here and having to use the bottom range of my voice as much as I have been. But I'm going to need y'all to come up out of all this grifting. I'm going to need you to come away from these plantation churches, and I'm going to need you to stop working with these soft pimps and pipettes online. I'm going to need you to stop doing that. I'm going to need you to understand that time is running out. The time and money and attention that you're giving these people is stuff that by 2026, you're going to be sorry that you spent all that time and have nothing to show for it. And there are not enough people like me who are going to be able to help you clean it up. I'm telling you right now, there's just not enough of us to go around. So what you want to do is to begin to get into community with people who are solving problems now instead of people that are encouraging you to stay weak and stay stupid. Stay mad, stay weak, stay stupid, stay without solutions. I'm going to need you to stop doing this. Not for my sake, for yours. And your kids. Don't make it so I care more about your kids than you do. Now, I know theoretically that's not possible, but your behavior given time to all these grifters is saying that even though, of course, you love your kids in terms of what you're practically doing, and I know that's going to come on harsh to some of y'all. You ain't even a mom. How you going? Truth is truth, no matter who says it. If the devil decided on any particular day to tell the truth, that'd be the one day he's the father of lies. But even half quote of scripture, and the first half will be right. The second half you got to watch out for. But hey, if Donald Trump can tell the truth, whenever he is telling the truth, it's the truth. Joe Biden can tell the truth, whenever he is telling the truth, it is the truth. And you need to watch both of those old men. But my point is, I don't have to be a mother to tell you the truth. And the truth is, you can love your children and yourself more than to be grifted. You can. If you single like me, just you. But hey, hey, you if you're married, you can love in a relationship. You can love whoever you're in relationship enough to not be grifted and taking emotional, spiritual, financial, attention, resources out of the relationship. I'm just saying. All right, I've done 3 videos in a row. These allergies in my throat are saying we got to leave. Y'all have a good day now. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for listening. If you stayed here through both of these videos and I bark at you, extra special thanks. Y'all have a good day now. Get away from these grifters. Have a good week. Bye.